like that doesn't need to be right up close to someone to shoot, right?
Yes.
It can shoot from 10, 15, 20 feet away, right?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskreutz could have stopped 10, 15, 20 feet away if he wanted to shoot you and fired his pistol at you, couldn't he have?
He could have, but he didn't.
And your testimony is that you believed he ran up close to you and reached in with his left hand with his gun in his right hand because that was his way of using this gun to shoot you?
Yes.
Did you think he was reaching in to grab your gun?
No.
You didn't think he was going to take your gun away, did you?
I thought he was going to shoot me.
With his pistol,
Yes.
which he never actually does. Correct?
Correct.
He never fires that gun at you at all.
No.
In fact, in this entire sequence of events, no one ever fired a gun at you, did they?
Mr. Zeminski fired a gun from behind me.
Did Mr. Zeminski fire that gun at you?
I believe so.
What do you base that on? Did you see it?
The video.
Did you see it?
No.
You're talking about back when the incident with Mr. Rosenbaum happens, correct?
Yes.
That happened while you and Mr. Rosenbaum are running across the car source lot, correct?
Yes.
At that moment in time, you didn't see Joshua Zeminski fire a shot, did you?
No.
You heard a gunshot, right?
Yes.
But you had no idea who fired it.
I believed it was Mr. Zeminski.
So that gunshot did not at all factor into your decision to kill Joseph Rosenbaum, did it?
No, Mr. Rosenbaum trying to steal my gun did.
So you didn't think that was a gunshot from Joseph Rosenbaum?
No.
You knew he didn't have a gun?
Oh, I see what your question means now, okay. You didn't think that the shot which had been fired supposedly by Mr. Zeminski had been fired by Mr. Rosenbaum?
Exactly.
Okay.
So you heard a gunshot. You now know that was Joshua Zeminski based on watching the videos, right?
Yes.
But at the time, you didn't think that was Joseph Rosenbaum firing that shot, did you?
No.
You knew Joseph Rosenbaum didn't have a gun, right?
Yes.
And you certainly would agree with me that you don't have the right to kill Joseph Rosenbaum for something Joshua Zeminski does, correct?
Yes.
When you heard that gunshot, you didn't know whether it was fired at you or up in the air or at Rosenbaum or anyone else, did you?
I heard it from behind me, but I didn't.
You didn't know where it was aimed,
Correct.
correct? You didn't feel it hit you, correct?
Correct.
You didn't hear it ricochet anywhere near you, correct?
Correct.
You received no indication that that gunshot was going to put your life in danger, correct?
I don't know.
There were gunshots going off all night long, weren't there?
Sorta.
Firecrackers,
Fireworks,
gunshots?
yeah.
Hard to tell the difference?
Yeah.
Right after you kill Rosenbaum, there's 3 shots right after that, aren't there?
Yes.
From very close to where you were.
Yes.
Yet you don't turn and shoot anybody there after you hear those, did you?
No.
So, getting back to my original question, in this entire sequence of events, no one ever fired a shot at you, did they?
No.
After you kill Anthony Huber, shoot Gage Grosskreutz, and attempt to fire those 2 shots at the person who jumped at you, you got up and you walked away, didn't you?
Yes.
And you're about, what, a block away from the police line?
Yes.
And you know that police line's there because you're running towards it.
Yes.
And there's really nothing in the road between you and that police line, is there? After the shooting? Everybody
No.
scatters?
No, nothing in the road.
So you have a clear line of sight from where you did those shootings to those law enforcement vehicles, correct?
Yes.
And you still have your AR-15,
Yes.
and the crowd is pretty much run after they hear the shots, right?
Yes.
You still have your medic bag,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
You never once offer to help anybody that you just shot, correct?
I don't.
Correct, you don't?
Correct.
Anthony Huber is lying there over on the ground after you shot him once in the chest, correct?
Yes.
You didn't know at that point whether he was alive or dead, did you?
I didn't.
You never went over to check, did you?
No,
You didn't know whether it was possible to save his life at that moment or not, did you?
I didn't.
And you didn't even care. You just kept on walking. Correct?
I kept walking to get to the police line.
Gage Grosskreutz, right after you shoot him in the arm, is yelling, "I need a medic." Did you hear that?
Yes.
That's in the videos, isn't it?
Yes.
You don't do anything to help him, do you?
No.
You just decide to get out of there as fast as you can. Correct?
Yes.
If you had seen someone running up the street with a gun and the crowd was saying that that person just shot someone, like they were saying about you, you would have taken action to stop them yourself, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't have.
You're running around putting out fires, aren't you?
Yes.
A shooting's far more serious than a fire, isn't it?
Yes.
You took it upon yourself to do the things that the police and the fire departments weren't doing that night, correct?
I helped put out fires, but I wouldn't say that.
You went around offering medical service because you didn't think there were EMTs or EMS that would be able to come in there, correct?
Yes.
So you took it upon yourself to do the things that you didn't think the police or fire could do, correct?
I wouldn't say I took it upon myself, but I was helping people with first aid and putting out fires at businesses.
So if you saw someone running with a gun and everybody said, that guy just shot someone, you would have taken your AR-15 and tried to stop him, wouldn't you?
What's the relevance of this, Mr. Mayor?
It goes to the crowd's reaction to him, Your Honor. I think you would have reacted the same way.
Mr. Rittenhouse is on trial. The crowd is important in terms of it's a factor that bears on some of the counts as to what the surroundings were. Otherwise, the crowd is unimportant, and what he might have done vis-a-vis the crowd is, I don't see where we're going.
Understood. When you got back to that police line and what'd you say, they pepper sprayed you?
I believe so, but I don't remember it.
They told you to get out of the road
Yes.
because they were going in there to
Yes.
do what you hadn't done, which is to try and help the people that you just shot, right?
Yes.
And then you went back after that to the 59th Street car source, didn't you?
Yes.
And you told them that you just shot someone.
Yes.
Someone, meaning an individual person, correct?
I wasn't meaning individual. I was saying I just shot someone. I just shot someone.
You were told by Nick Smith that the police were coming to your location, to the 59th Street car source, right?
I don't recall that.
And yet, you decided to flee, didn't you?
No.
You didn't stick around for the police, did you?
I went to go turn myself into the Antioch Police Department
A couple of hours later.
an hour.
Actually, it wasn't a couple hours. He knows what time it was.
I'm asking the witness if the witness can answer.
Go ahead, you can answer, sir.
It was a couple of hours later, wasn't it?
No.
And in between leaving that location in downtown Kenosha and getting to Antioch, you were looking at social media, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. My phone was dead.
You had heard from other people that your name was out there, right?
Later on in the evening, I believe I heard something, but no.
You knew that your picture was out there, right?
No.
You're telling me, as you sit here under oath, that after those shootings, between then and the time you turned yourself into the Antioch Police Department, you had no idea that there was social media out there with your picture and your name as the shooter.
I'm trying to recall, but I can't. I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember.
I have no further questions.
I
Read
have
right.
nothing on that, Your Honor.
You may step down, sir.
Your Honor, I have a witness. But before that call that witness, I need to use the men's room.
About a 5 to 10 minute break. Please don't talk about the case during the break. You may either use the jury room or you may remain down here in the library.
Can I have a big excuse?
There's a new report that we just received,
Okay?
and I object to it. It's beyond the scope of the court's order, and it's untimely.
Does it differ from the former report?
Your Honor, the only thing that is different is it adds the new discovered video from Friday.
It also gives his opinions as to what the defendant was doing that night, and his self-defense, and what he was thinking and believing, etc., the pursuit, etc. There's a lot of opinions in here about what the defendant was doing. The court's order on
Let me
this...
just interrupt. I think I stated that I would allow the imaging sequences, the measurement of that, and I think I said I would allow the observations he had made about the capacity of people to observe multiple objects. That's a poor way of summarizing it. That type of data, and when he talked about the car accidents, and I think it was limited to that. So he may have leftover impressions or opinions, but I don't expect I would be admitting any of that.
And I'm not intending to.
Okay.
This new written report has those, so I am objecting. It should not be admitted into evidence or shown to the jury.
All right. I don't expect it will be, and if he's offered, it'll unless he's got some astonishing justification, then it won't be admitted because I said I wasn't.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, the question becomes, how long will this take? Shame on me, it's 20 to 5.
It's been a long day, too. I don't know if you
Yeah.
did that.
But he's come here from Oregon and you want to get him in.
Well, no, you're available tomorrow, first thing?
Okay. I don't want to start wrong, right?
I mean, if I thought you could get your direct in 20 minutes,
Absolutely not.
then why don't we wait until tomorrow? Well, I shouldn't say that. Tell me what is expected course of the case after that, because maybe I would let you if it.
With this witness 3.
3? Raise your right hand.
That's what we have under subpoena. Well, Mr. Black isn't under subpoena. We have Drew Hernandez and Bray to clear up the racking, the spent shell casings, and what evidence was recovered from each
I
action.
don't want to.
I'm just-
I thought Officer Van Wee testified to emptying the gun when at the hospital.
At the crime scene,
Yeah.
number 2, event
Right.
number 2, the state is saying that my client, Paige
I know what's
Grosswitz,
being
re-racked
said.
the gun. If there was a
I understand that, and I thought that Officer Van Wee said that there was a full except for 8 shots, 8 bullets.
But there was no, the word I'm looking for, live round found at event number 2. So if there was a re-racking of that bolt, there would have been a live round. And there
See,
were-
I counted and I came up with a full load, even without any bullet being found.
Maybe I'm just, and additionally, that Mr. Grosswitz said he didn't know whether or not his gun had one in the chamber. Lukowski testified to it, and in fact, there is a live round right on the ground.
Well, this is what your third. Okay, well, let's deal with the realities of it. Unless you gentlemen are prepared to tell me that you're going to send me your proposed instructions on within by 7 or 8 o'clock tonight, and unless you're going to tell me that you're going to argue for less than an hour and a half each, then we're going to end up either working Saturday or working on Monday. So let's take a vote here, because the jury did clear Tuesday, And of course, I think I read once that Abraham Lincoln, when he took a vote on the Emancipation Proclamation, all the votes were no. And then he said, but the deciding vote is aye. And so I'm going to take a vote about what you folks want to do, but that doesn't mean it's going to come out the way you want. So, who wants to work Saturday?
I'll work Saturday, I'll work Monday, I'll do whatever the court asks me.
Who wants to come back on Monday? Okay, so it's one to they don't care to, I'm going to vote with you on Monday. So, okay, so I know. Is it okay if I tell the jury we are hopeful that we will conclude the case on Monday? I understand that. Is there going to be extensive rebuttal?
I don't think it's going to be extensive, but
Yeah.
we do reserve the right to call
Sure,
a vote, yes.
I understood. Well, maybe I'll tell them I expect that we'll finish in the time which was given to us, which was included Tuesday. And we'll see what happens. All right. Anything else before I call the jury down? Oh, and then I'm going to dismiss them for the day, and we'll start in the morning with Dr. Black. Anything else?
Do you want the instructions by 7? Is that what you would?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So email.
But if you, are you telling me that would be,
No, I'm telling you that I'll do whatever you want.
if you want by 8?
Okay. And we're talking just about the count 6, right?
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll send you my preliminary. No, I won't do that. I'll send you my preliminary tonight, as long as we're not going to argument until next week. I'm not even going to promise that. Let's just, cool. All right. Let's call the jury down, dismiss them for the day. You don't have to send me anything tonight, and I won't send you anything.
I think they're in bed.
Oh. All right, folks. How many are in favor of my continuing to allow that light to flicker through the remainder of the trial? Why don't we get maintenance in here, and hopefully they can fix that. And we're gonna stop for the day, and we're going to come tomorrow morning at 9. And I have just discussed the matter with the lawyers, and I'm very confident that we will finish by Tuesday, as I asked you about a couple weeks ago. And there's a bare chance, I don't want to get your hopes up, but there's a chance we could finish on Monday. And that's the best of my information, and it isn't a promise, but I think that's very realistic. So, in the meantime, please don't read, watch, or listen to any account of the trial, or discuss the case with anyone, including members of your immediate household. And any questions? See you tomorrow.
We have to go upstairs, George.
Yeah, would you go upstairs, please, and Mrs. Mataska Montink or her designee will talk to you.